I had a hippopotamus. I kept him in a shed and fed him upon vitamins and vegetable bread. I made him my companion on many cheery walks and had his portrait done by a celebrity in chalks. His charming eccentricities were known on every side. The creature's popularity was wonderfully wide. He frolicked with the rector and a dozen friendly tussles who could not but remark upon his hippopotamuscles. If he should be afflicted by depressions or the dumps, by hippopotameasles or the hippopotamumps, I never knew a particle of peace till it was plain that he was hippopotomasticating properly again. I had a hippopotamus. I loved him as a friend. But beautiful relationships are bound to have an end. Time takes, alas, our joys from us and robs us of our blisses. My hippopotamus turned out a hippopotamus. My housekeeper regarded him with jaundice in her eye. She did not want a colony of hippopotami. She borrowed a machine gun from her soldier nephew Percy and showed him my hippopotamus. No hippopotamercy. My house now lacks the glamour that the charming creature gave. The garage where I kept him is as silent as a grave. No longer he displays among the motor tires and spanners his hippopotamassery of hippopotamanners. No longer he gambles in the orchard in the spring. No longer do I lead him through the village on a string. No longer in the mornings does the neighborhood rejoice to his hippopotamusically modulated voice. I had a hippopotamus, but nothing upon earth is constant in its happiness or lasting in its mirth. No joy that life can give me can be strong enough to smother my sorrow for what might have been a hippopotamother. My name is Patrick Barrington, and that was I Had a Hippopotamus. Yes.
There was a young lady of rigor who went for a ride on a tiger. They returned from the ride with the lady inside and the smile on her face of the tiger. There was an old person of Fratton who would go to church with his hat on. If I wake up, he said, with a hat on my head, I shall know that it hasn't been sat on. An epicure dining at Crewe found a large mouse in his stew. Said the waiter, don't shout and wave it about or the rest will be wanting one too. I want one. A wonderful bird, the pelican. His mouth can hold more than his belly can and can take in his beak enough food for a week. I'm darned if I know how the hell he can. There was a young lady of Ryde who ate some green apples and died. The apples fermented inside the lamented and made cider inside her inside. There was a young lady of Bastard who cried out when anyone kissed her. But a fellow named Ray caught her out in this way. He pretended, but then only missed her. There was a young lady named Bright who travelled much faster than light. She started one day in the relative way and returned on the previous night. There was an old fellow of Tring who, when nobody asked him to sing, replied, ain't it odd? I never tell God save the weasel from Pop Goes the King. There was a young man of Japan whose limericks never would scan. Then asked why this was, he said, it's because I always try to get as many words into the last line as I possibly can. There you go, that's some country, home country singing right there. Bring us another pint, would you? Oh, that's a bad miss.
Okay, so I am doing a 19th century poem by Dora Greenwell called When the Night and Morning Meet. Here we go. Okay. In the dark and narrow street, into a world of woe, where the tread of many feet went trampling to and fro. A child was born to speak low, a child was born to speak low. When the night and morning meet, when the night and morning meet. Who said me summer's back? Was this so long ago? The feet that wore the track are lying straight and low. Yet has there been no lack, yet has there been no lack of passers to and fro, of passers to and fro. Within the narrow street, this childhood ever played. Beyond the narrow street, this manhood never strayed. This age sat still and prayed. This age sat still and prayed. Near the tramping feet, near the tramping feet, the tread of ceaseless feet. Though through his life unstirred by waters fall or fleet, when music or the bird of morn, these sounds are sweet, of morn, these sounds are sweet, but they were still unheard, but they were still unheard. In the dark and narrow street, into a world of woe, where the tread of many feet went trampling to and fro. A child was born to speak low, a child was born to speak low, a child was born to speak low, a child was born to speak low. When the night and morning, when night and morning meet, when the night and morning meet. Within the narrow street, I stood beside a bed. I held a dying head when the night and morning meet. And every word was sweet, and every word was sweet. Though few the words we said, though few the words we said. And as we talked on through today, the world was fair. And fields afar I knew, yet spoke not to him there. Of how the grasses grew, of how the grasses grew, besprent with dewdrops rare. We spoke not of the sun, nor of this green earth fair. This soul whose day was done had never claimed its share. In these and yet it's rare, in these and yet it's rare. Rich heritage had won, rich heritage had won. From the dark and narrow street into a world of love, a child was born. Speak low, speak reverent, for we know not how they speak above when the night and morning meet. Not how they speak above when the night and morning meet. How they speak above when the night and morning meet. Not how they speak above when the night and morning meet. When the night and morning meet. When the night and morning meet.
red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. Oh, on a favourite cat, drowned in a tub of goldfishes, goldfishes. 'Twas on a lofty vase's side, where China's gayest art had dyed the azure flowers that blow, demurest of the tabby kind, the pensive Selina, the Clyde, gazed on the lake below. Her conscious tale, her joy declared, the fair round face, oh, the snowy beard, the velvet of her pose, her coat that with the tortoise vies, her ears of jet and emerald eyes she saw and heard. Still had she gazed, but midst the tide, two angel forms were seen to glide, the genii of the street. Their scaly armours, Tyrian hue, through richest purple to the view, betrayed a golden gleam. The hapless nymph with wonder saw a whisker first, and then a claw. With many an ardent wish, she stretched in main to reach the prize. What female heart can gold despise? What cat's averse to fish? Presumptuous maid! With looks intent, again she stretched, again she bent, nor knew the gulf between. Malignant fate stepped by and smiled. The slippery verge her feet beguiled. She tumbled headlong in. 8 times, emerging from the flood, she mewed to every watering god, some speedy aid to send. No dolphin came, no nereid stirred, nor cruel Tom, nor Susan heard. A favourite has no friend. From hence, ye beauties, undeceived, no one false step is ne'er retrieved, and be with caution bold. Not all that tempts your wondering eyes and heedless hearts is lawful prize, nor all that glisters gold.
And that brings us to the end of Poets' Corner. Thank you very much to Christel van Graan, Caitlin Kilburn, and Bernice Marberg for reading a bunch of poems from a bunch of dead guys with me. You're listening to Radio Ragnarok.